The Book of Boba Fett, Episode 2, The Tribes of Tatooine. Hi, hello, you're watching the HelloGreedo YouTube channel, an all things Star Wars YouTube channel that started back in 2011. We have some fun around here. Feel free to click subscribe and ding that bell. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Enjoy the show. One of my favorite things that has been kind of explored in modern Star Wars with The Mandalorian and now the Book of Boba Fett is the expansion of, Tusken Raiders as a whole. Their lore, their rituals. We see them as a people. And this expansion of this group of people, these nomadic warriors, I suppose, these desert dwellers, has been one of my favorite things to watch in these two very similar shows. At the end of this episode, we see Boba Fett kind of being adopted by the tribe. There's a ceremony with him where he finds his way through almost like an ayahuasca experience. There's a garb ceremony. There's a purpose to gaffy sticks. It's interesting. It's a fun exploration into what had always been kind of background characters who you never really knew much about, right? The Tusken Raiders. It's first thoughts of this video. I love it. I love that exploration. The Book of Boba Fett Episode 2 was fantastic. It was like 30 minutes longer than the first episode, which doesn't mean anything. Longer isn't necessarily better, but I absolutely love the pacing, the narrative structure of this episode. I love the flashback sequences where we see that new Tusken Raider side of things, and also we see how Boba Fett basically started his rise to power in the region. The flashback stuff is my favorite in the show so far. It's done incredibly well. So present day, at the beginning of the episode, we're in present day, and we discovered that the assassins that tried to take out Boba Fett and Fennec in the first episode are from the Order of the Night Wind, which there is no canon or legends explanation for this. This is all brand new ideas. I dig it. But they're basically assassins for hire. I'm sure their lore, their stamp on the Star Wars universe will be massively expanded on, as everything is, right? But one of my favorite scenes in this entire episode was the Rancor pit. I absolutely loved how fear was struck into this assassin by the very thought of a Rancor coming out and getting him out. But obviously the pit was empty. It was a fun, playful scene for Fennec and Boba Fett while this assassin was pissing his pants in the pit. I liked it. I love all the locations that we see walking through Tatooine. And then we meet the mayor. Who I believe is voiced by Robert Rodriguez. I thought the use of, and this isn't anything new in Star Wars. We've seen this before, an alien voice, non-basic voice, basically, being translated real time through a translator. But I really liked the design of the mayor. I thought the low bassy tone of his alien voice was great, kind of juxtaposed with the Robert Rodriguez monotone, matter-of-fact voice. I thought that was really well done. It's subtle, but I like the subtle things. The mayor basically tells Boba Fett to watch his back at the sanctuary. That's kind of where the real threat is. And it sounds like the folks at the sanctuary possibly hired these assassins. We see, I believe, Jabba the Hutt's cousins. This is an indication of a massive gang war, a turf war that we're going to end up seeing. I'd be surprised if that didn't happen. I don't think this respect is going to last very long. I believe these twins. I believe these twins are Jabba's cousins. I could be wrong about that. Flipping through a couple things on Twitter, I think I saw that mentioned. Don't know if that's true. I should have looked it up. But they are, as tradition goes, I suppose, the rightful heirs to the Jabba the Hutt crime syndicate throne. And now that Jabba is gone, they want to take power. They say bloodshed is bad for business, but I have a feeling, if I had to guess, there's going to be, as I said, major turf war between Boba Fett's new path, his new group, his new crew that he's going to be assembling, the people who are going to end up being loyal to him and appreciate his way of running the crime family. And then there's going to be Jabba loyalists. And I have a feeling that there's going to be a major conflict between these various mobs. But, yeah. Oh, one of my favorite things, again, I love subtlety, but as the twins are being hoisted on the litter by all the people around them, they're holding them up. There's a subtle bow in the litter, almost as if like, I mean, yeah, have you ever had an old dresser or something like that? Like an antique dresser, and one of the drawers is just like kind of collapsing because there's, you know, this thing was built in like the 60s, and the drawer has just had too much weight on it over the years, so the base of the bottom of the drawer is just kind of sagging. That's what it reminded me of. And then you see the people kind of like struggling to hold them up, shuffling their feet every once in a while, trying to find their footing. I'm a big fan of subtlety. And little things like that just kind of make things more believable, make things more realistic, and I appreciate that kind of stuff. After the kind of twins sequence, we see Boba in the back of the tank, and we get some more flashbacks. He is training with a gaffy stick, but he's the one, at least in this moment, he's the one being trained. He's not training. Other people, he's the one being trained. He's willing to learn. He says, teach me. He's willing to train. He's willing to learn. He's willing to get better. And that's a true sign of leadership. I'm glad they included this little moment, as subtle as it is. And you guys know me, I love the subtlety. But that is a true sign of leadership, mature leadership. That's a sign of a mature warrior. The people who think they know everything and believe they never need to train because, you know, I've been doing this for 25 years. I know everything there is to know. Why do I have to attend this training? They are always assholes. It's a true sign of leadership and maturity and being a mature leader and warrior when you never stop learning. The people who I know who are close to retirement, even through fire departments and in the military, the true leaders in those groups, even close to retirement, as I said, never stop learning, never stop seeking knowledge, never stop looking for a better way to do the things that they've been doing for 20, 25, 30 years. But yeah, it's a small thing in the episode, but I really liked it. I think that even that, you know, just a few lines of dialogue there, seeing that for a few seconds, maybe it went unnoticed by many, but I think it was a pretty big moment for the development of the man himself, for Boba Fett. So yeah, a train drives by, a big old hover train, driven by the Pike Syndicate, who we've seen in the Clone Wars and I believe Solo. They're basically driving by, blasting the Tusken Raiders. We later find out that they knew nothing about them. They just thought they were kind of uncivilized, I think is the word that the Pike leader says, or something like that. A bunch of Tusken Raiders are killed, and Boba Fett decides he's going to put a stop to this, and he's going to stop the train. And we see this really fun biker bar fight scene. I think it's a swoop gang. The only time I remember seeing like a swoop gang is in Shadows of the Empire. Is this biker gang considered a swoop bike gang? I don't know. I need to look it up. I should probably look things up before I make a video, right? But I'm gonna call it a swoop gang, all right? They look like swoop bikes, speeder bikes from Shadows of the Empire a little bit, but anyway, this biker gang is causing some trouble in a very small local bar. And there's a couple there that are just trying to enjoy a little evening on the town with a couple pints, right? And they're taking their money and they're running they think they can run the joint. And then Boba Fett just walks in because he wants to steal their speeder bikes to use them for the Tusken Raiders. I think he's just kind of like eyeballing them and seeing what they're all about, seeing if he can justify stealing their bikes. And they're in there causing trouble. And it's just like a quick 20-second in and out ass kicking that Boba Fett delivers. He could have just stole their bikes, but we needed an action scene, and it was great. I like it. And one of my favorite things about Tamora Morrison as an actor that we've seen during action scenes, at least, is the crazy eyes, as I've kind of described them in my head. Tamora Morrison's Boba Fett during like gaffy stick swings or swinging anything at another character in battle, he's got like crazy eyes, and kind of love it. I love it. So yeah, Boba Fett just passing through, steals some speeder bikes, beats up some trouble-causing bikers, and he brings the speeder bikes to the Tusken Raiders, and he basically trains them on how to ride these speeders. I thought this was a really fun sequence. I thought it was a really fun montage, a training montage. Not like combat training or anything like that. Speeder bike training, jumping from a speeder bike to a speeder bike, a moving target to a moving target. I thought this training sequence was fantastic. It was funny, it was lighthearted, and it definitely, even in this small montage, this small sequence, you can tell that it brought the crew together even more. The train heist itself was an absolute blast. It was one of the most edge of your seat Star Wars scenes, moments that I can think of. I thought this train heist was so well done. I honestly don't know what else to say. I thought it was great action, great fun, some silly moments, like when the Tusken Raider enters the train and he's walking cabin to cabin or whatever, and he's fighting pikes. We see a top shot on the top of the train of 3 pikes blasting down the top of the train, and all of a sudden one of them is pulled down, and you see the Tusken Raider pop his head back up like, hey guys, I don't know, just little silly goofy moments like that kind of just increase the overall enjoyment of these just action sequences. But man, I thought it was great. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Really well done. So yeah, they take over the train, and Boba Fett is talking in front of a bunch of pikes who are now their captors, and he kind of lays down the law. We see, for the first time in any of these flashbacks, we see him lay down the law and become a leader, a protector. He's doing it for the right reasons. He says that, these people, as in the Tusken Raiders, lay ancestral claim to the Dune Sea. He says that. So he's setting up a toll road, basically. Anybody that passes through the Dune Sea has to pay the Tusken Raiders a toll. And obviously that we've heard of that in The Mandalorian. I love it. I love that. I love that setup. But yeah, we see him kind of the birth of him being maybe the crime family boss in this moment, laying down the terms, and there's no negotiation. I thought it was great to see him in that role. But yeah, the Tusken Raiders give him a gift. It's a lizard. It's a hallucinogen. It's like it evokes like an ayahuasca trip in him, basically. He sees flashbacks. He's in the Sarlacc pit. He sees his father fly away on Camino. All of these moments, past and current, come rushing back to him, and it's kind of like a little personal ceremony, a way of self-discovery through this lizard hallucinogen. There's a ceremony where he's being wrapped, he's being dressed like a Tusken. He basically is adopted by this tribe. We see how one acquires a gaffy stick. One of these Tusken Raiders acquires a gaffy stick, makes their own gaffy sticks, goes out on this hallucinogenic lizard trip through the desert, finds this tree, gets a branch, and that special branch is turned into the Tusken Raiders gaffy stick. Through ceremony, through hardship, through journey, this gaffy stick is born. I love it. I love it. I love this world building that is going on with Tuskens. I love the expansion of the Tusken Raider lore. It's one of my favorite things that has happened in either The Mandalorian or the Boba Fett, the expansion of Tusken Raider knowledge by the audience. I think it is, it's great. They've become some of my new favorite characters in all of Star Wars. I love what they've done with Tusken Raiders. So, with all that being said, I thought this episode was great. Edge of your seat, great character building, great Tusken Raider building. There wasn't a dull moment in this episode at all, whether it be through conversation with the mayor or the exciting ass train sequence. Everything meshed so well. Everything was paced out so nicely. And I thought this episode was fantastic. Yeah, man, what did you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, or don't, just watch the videos. Whatever you want to do, man. But we have fun around here. Lighthearted, goofiness, always. All right, guys, on to the next episode. I'll see you next week. HelloGreedo, out.